Hello there and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my investigation into asbestos in makeup. I'm incredibly sorry that I have not provided any updates for a while, but I have not really had any kind of meaningful updates to update about. So I hope that you can forgive me for, I don't know, I just feel like, you know, I was really on it, and then probably from your perspective, I just stopped talking about asbestos. And I hope that you don't think that I just forgot about it, because I definitely didn't. As you know, in my last video about the asbestos in makeup situation, I said that I was going to get my own palette that I created in collaboration with UCANBE tested, which is this palette right here, the cellophane palette. So I sent it off and then I didn't hear anything, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like I've not heard anything. And by the way, as well, and I know I've said this before, but I do just want to be clear, I never seriously suspected that my palette would contain asbestos. I never had any concerns over this palette, but I thought that it was only fair and reasonable, considering the fact that I was kind of looking into asbestos in makeup, and considering the situation that happened with Beauty Glazed. By the way, if you've not seen any of my earlier videos relating to asbestos in makeup, I would really recommend that you go and watch them, because I could understand that if you've not watched any of those videos and maybe you're new to my channel, maybe you liked my last testing out AliExpress makeup video and you subscribed, and now you're thinking, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Is she actually an asbestos channel? I know it probably sounds confusing, but yeah, I would just recommend, like, if you go back and watch some of my older videos where I basically talk about asbestos being found in some cosmetics, and the catalyst for my videos was that there was asbestos that was found in a Beauty Glazed eyeshadow palette. So, okay, so we're back on track. So anyway, so I sent my palette off to be tested. One of the contractors who do the asbestos testing for the organisation that I work for, because I work in the compliance team for a housing organisation, they very kindly agreed to test my eyeshadow palette free of charge, which I would have happily paid them, but they're just like such a kind contractor. They did it free of charge. So anyway, I sent it off. A week later, I was thinking, I've not heard anything back. What's going on? Because I'm quite impatient. And then 2 weeks passed. Still didn't hear anything back. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like what's happening? So anyway, I chased up the contractor and they very kindly came back to me and said that there was absolutely no asbestos that was found in my palette. And I was like, yes, this is wonderful, like great news. But they didn't attach a certificate. So then I went back to them and I said, hey, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate you testing the palette, but I need a certificate or like a report, because I can't really I couldn't really come back to you guys and just go, there's no asbestos in the palette, because that wouldn't fly, you know what I mean? So I offered to pay them for a certificate, but again, they're just like, no problem. So anyway, they finally sent me over, I shouldn't say finally because it makes me sound ungrateful, because I really appreciate the fact that they've done this for free. So they sent me over a certificate and I got it this morning. So I wanted to give you the updates. Now, okay, so you're wondering, what's Anwen just picked up? Is the certificate that heavy? I've just picked up my laptop. By the way, check out my laptop. I've got Wednesday Addams on there, and I've got a sticker that says, "We are the weirdos, mister," which is obviously inspired by the fabulous, iconic cult film, The Craft. So, yeah, this is like how I look. So, pretend in a business meeting with me, like professional business meeting, this is me. We are the weirdos, mister. I have no shame. But anyway, guys, I got a bit sidetracked there. Okay, so I have a copy of the certificate. I've got it as a PDF and it's here in front of me. I'm not anywhere near a printer right now. The printers are all in my office, and I've kind of been banned from my office for this week because I've got a bit of a chesty situation going on, so I'm banned from the office. So I'm probably not going to be able to get to the office until next week. So when I get to the office, I'm going to print out a copy of this certificate and I'll be able to show you properly. The reason why I can't just turn around my laptop right now and show you is because the very kind contractor who did the testing for me, they don't really want to be named in the video for understandable reasons, you know, which is fair enough. And also for the client, they put my name down, but then they've used the organisation I work for, the head office address. So I mean, even if it was my personal address, I couldn't show that because like that probably wouldn't be the most sensible thing to do. So yeah, that's why I'm a little bit like not able to like, I don't know. I don't usually think, oh my gosh, like Anwen's being so secretive. Like what has she got to hide? Like I'm not trying to be secretive, and I definitely don't want to be secretive, but you've just got the name of the contractor at the top. Then you've got the organisation that I work for, their head office address. And then you've got the guy's name who actually analysed this, and I don't really want to put his name in either. And then we've got a small section, which I'm going to put a photo on the screen now of the section which shows the results. So that's like the all important section. So I'm going to pop that up now so that you can see it. And I hope that you understand why at this time, why I'm not able just to flip around my laptop and show you the whole certificate in full. It's just, you know, I have to adhere to confidentiality. So anyway, hopefully now you can see the table. So on the, oh my gosh, what side will it be for you? The left hand side? I don't know, I'm winging it. I'm hoping it's wearing like the left hand side, but you'll see it says client sample identification, and then you've got a table with lines numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, sample location and details, list makeup palette, powder makeup, then the next column along, sample material type, dust debris. I'm not really sure if I actually approve of them referring to my beautiful eyeshadow palette as debris and dust, but I mean, I get it. You know, these guys, they usually test like buildings and fabrics within buildings, so you know they're not really up on like the, you know, the matte eyeshadow, metallic sheen, crushed pigment, pressed glitter. You know what I mean? So I get it. You know, I understand. But then the all-important columns are at the end. So it says analysis result, no asbestos detective, content negative. Boom, boom. I don't need to tell you how happy I am to not to know that there's no asbestos in there, which obviously I am really happy about that, but because I never really worried about it anyway, it wasn't really something that I was, oh my gosh, I got freaked out. I thought I saw like a ghost or something. Like, I thought there was something moving behind me, and I was like, oh, did you see it? Maybe when I watched this back, I was like, oh my gosh, who is that? But you know, out of the corner of my eye, I just thought I saw something. Oh my gosh, that was freaky. But sorry guys, back on track. So like, I think if I'd been like super worried that there was asbestos, oh, I don't know, I forgot my train of thought. The fucking ghost distracted me. But anyway guys, I'm so happy to be able to reassure you. I'm happy to be able to stand confidently behind my palette and say, yes, this palette is asbestos free. I think it's just the only fair and reasonable thing that I could have done in light of me kind of not bashing other brands, but the kind of conclusion that I came to with this whole asbestos situation was that I feel like the regulations need to be changed. The regulations currently are that no asbestos can be used within cosmetics. So whilst we have this law, there is an absence of any recommended testing kind of practices. There appears to be no auditing. There appears to be just a lack of transparency really with brands. I mean, you know, I feel like brands are always, and rightfully so, they're always so eager and keen to let everybody know that their palette is cruelty free or a vegan or paraben free. But I feel like the same importance isn't put on brands certifying that their products are asbestos free, which I think is just as important. You know, I'm all for vegan, cruelty free products, but I am also all for asbestos free products, and I think it'd be really, really great to see brands take this more seriously. I did reach out to 1,000,001 different brands. Have I heard back from any of them? No. I DM'd a shitload of brands. Then I realised, because someone here said, Anwen, maybe it'd be best to email them, which I thought, yes, that's a great idea. So I emailed them via the contact emails on their websites to just ask, do you currently test your products for asbestos, or do your manufacturers test for asbestos before they start to create your products? Because as we know, asbestos gets into cosmetics via talc, because talc and asbestos, they originate in the same areas because they're both minerals, so they'll grow in the same caves. So when the excavator goes in to mine the talc, it's very, very easy just to get them all mixed up. You know, like imagine if you had sugar and salt both in the same place, and your boss said to you, hey, go in and get all of the sugar. You could be like, okay. So then you go into the cave and just everything looks like sugar and salt. Like, how do you tell the difference other than tasting it? But even then, you can imagine things get mixed up together. So that's how I kind of see this whole debacle in my mind. But yeah, I just feel like there needs to be more visibility, transparency, and I don't know if for all I know, like, all of these brands could be taking it extremely seriously. They could be putting the impetus on their manufacturers to be testing every single bit of talc that comes into their labs, and they could be just be testing them every quarter, like a sample every month or every quarter, and then the makeup brands could follow that up with their own batch testing when they receive their products from the manufacturers. You know what I mean? I'm really intrigued to know what they do, because my background is compliance. So I'm involved in kind of pre-planned maintenance. I'm involved in Legionella testing. I'm involved in fire safety. I am involved in passenger lift and stair lift servicing. So do you know what? I am all about the periodic servicing. So I just have a personal and professional interest in this too, because I love makeup, I love my job, I love compliance. Okay, I'm not quite sure if I love compliance, but I really enjoy what I do. And it's kind of like, for the first time in my YouTube career, not that it's a career, for the first time in my YouTube experience, I feel like the two sides of my life just like are kind of crossing a little bit. So anyway, guys, I am going to keep on the search for answers, you know, to try and find out what brands are doing out there. And I don't think all of the impetus needs to be on the brands. It should really be on the manufacturers, because they'll be buying the kind of raw ingredients, i.e. the talc, they'll be buying that in. So I feel like the testing needs to start from above, like they need to be testing, but then the makeup brands who are then receiving their products from the manufacturers, they then should also be taking responsibility and should be accountable to doing their own regular testing to make sure that the manufacturers aren't taking the piss. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got to keep everyone on their toes. Like, for example, in my company, so we will do all of our regulatory testing. So we'll do all of our EICRs, our PAT testing, FFE servicing, fire alarm servicing, intruder alarm servicing, aircon servicing. We'll be doing all of these services, but then we get audited kind of, it's usually every 2 years, and we'll have like an external auditor come in and just literally make everybody's life hell for a week whilst they're there. Just, you're on edge, because any minute now you'll be thinking, oh my gosh, the auditor, they're going to email me and ask for a copy of the certificate of the EICR testing from 2017, and you're just like, oh, fuck. It's just honestly nerve-wracking. But I mean, just in defence of my company, we are great. Like, all of our testing is excellent. So anyway, guys, I am going to go. I really just wanted to give you this update, and I really hope that this brings some reassurance. Oh my gosh, that's the word. Yeah, I just hope that it reassures you a bit, because I know that UCANBE have carried out their own testing of the... Where's she gone? Oh, there she is. I thought the ghost had had her then. I was like, oh my gosh, where did she go? But yeah, UCANBE did carry out their own testing, asbestos testing of the cellophane palette, and it came back negative. And I let you all know that I showed the certification, but, and understandably so, a lot of you guys were like, well, do you know what? I think I would trust it more if it was an independent test of the palette. So now we have the independent test of the palette, and I'm just incredibly sorry that I cannot just hold up the certificate and just show you everything in full, but I will print it off the next time I'm in the office, and then I'll just get my big black marker and I'll just mark everything out that is confidential, and I can still hold it up in full, and basically you will kind of see what I've shown you today with the table. But anyway, guys, I am going to go. I really hope that I just hope it brings you some relief and reassurance that that my faking palette is asbestos free. Anyway, guys, I am going to go now, and yes, I did give myself a haircut the other day, and I know, yeah, just let's not talk about that, okay? Okay, so guys, I'm going to go, but I really hope that this video has brought you a little bit of reassurance with regards to my palette. If you've not purchased my palette yet, I would really recommend it, because she's asbestos free, number one, but number two, she's fabulous. I mean, look at her, guys. She is so gorgeous. Like, I love her so much, and now we can all enjoy her even more knowing that she's asbestos free. So anyway, guys, I am going to go. Thank you so much for just taking the time to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, Ghost, if you're watching, if you're listening, thanks for the cameo. It's wonderful. I'm going to go. Bye.